practice.
Yes, indeed! Big Brother Bear here to give you all that you want and what you need. And today we're going to talk.
All right, listen, before I send this video out, I just want to put a quick disclaimer on this video. I'm no way, no shape, no form trying to diminish the accomplishments of Allen Iverson. It was just an example. He mentioned practice, so I ran with it. All right. I have no doubt in believing that he has had to do a lot of practicing to be a Hall of Famer, which he is. He's an iconic figure, so I want to make sure that I'm abundantly clear when I say this. When I mention some guys that I played with that, you know, got high and drunk and all that stuff and still started and still played a lot of minutes, has nothing to do with Allen Iverson. Has everything to do with the players I played with. Make sense? All right. Secondarily, I want to also say that when I say execute over and over again in this video, I'm meaning executing in the game. When the bright lights are on, when the big stage is there, when the audience is out there, can you execute during that time? Practice, you got me? All right, enjoy the video.
Talk about practice.
Hey, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, baby. Hoop Loud, Big Brother Bear.
So today on this Teach Me series, we're going to be using some of the classic, iconic footage from...
I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
Yes, indeed! Big Brother Bear here to give you all that you want and what you need. And today we're going to talk about practice. Hoop loud. So today on this Teach Me series, we're going to be using some of the classic, iconic footage from the interview with Allen Iverson. And there's a lot that we can pull from this.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that, man? We're talking about practice. I know I'm supposed to be there. I know I'm supposed to lead by example. I know that. And I'm not shoving it aside, you know, like it don't mean anything. I know it's important. I do. I honestly do. But we talking about practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man. We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice. We ain't talking about the game. We're talking about practice, man. When you come in the arena and you see me play, don't you?
Absolutely.
You see me give everything I got, right?
Absolutely.
But we talking about practice right now.
But it's an issue that
we're talking about practice. Man, look, I hear you. It's funny to me too. I mean, it's strange to me too. But we talking about practice, man. We're not even talking about the game, the actual game, when it matters.
Practice is important, but it's not really, really important, right? It's important that you do it, but it's not really, like you're not going to get any kind of awards for practicing. Because at the end of the day, people care more about execution than they do practice. When I first got started with these YouTube videos, man, it took me 5 to 8 hours to crank out one video. One video. I'm self-taught. I didn't do any classes. When I got stumped on something, I had to call a friend and get on YouTube and try to figure it out myself. Now, let me ask you this. Did you look at my videos and say, I'm going to choose this video because he spent X amount of hours working on it? No, you didn't. Because some of those videos that I put 8, 9 hours in editing, y'all don't watch. Those are my poorest videos. Some of those videos I got like 10 views on, 20 views on, 50 views on. And some of the videos that I spent less time on when I started realizing how to do things because I'm self-taught with this editing deal, then some of these videos I had like 5,000 views on. What matters is this. The execution matters. The same thing can be said as far as basketball. I have seen with my own eyes situations where someone is super talented, does not work hard, stays out all night drinking and smoking, and they'll give you 40 in a game, 20 a half, give you a nice 20 piece real quick. Whereas I've seen guys like myself that were gym rats that worked really hard and in the practice setting, for whatever reason, sat on the bench some games. So how do you explain that? And the reason why I bring this up is because I don't want you to get lost in the sauce, if you will. Like, I don't want you to get lost in feeling entitled because you work so hard. You know you put in time in the gym, so therefore you're calloused over and you're not open to learning why you're even on the bench. You're not open to learning what you can do to be a better player. When you see somebody out there that has not practiced as much as you have, when you see someone out there that's drinking and smoking and staying out all night and coming to practice high and hungover, and they're still getting playing time over you. I've been that person. Not the person who was getting high and drunk, but the person that was putting in all that work and felt like I wasn't getting anything from it. I was that person in high school that came to doggone practice with a weight vest on. That happened, okay? When I played in the game, they didn't ask about that. I didn't get extra points a game because I came to the gym with a weight vest on and worked out with a team with a weight vest on. Nobody cared about that, and they shouldn't. Practice is for this. It's for building team camaraderie, building muscle memory, learning your plays. So hopefully that it translates over to wins and execution when a game is officially started, when it's game time. All three of those things I named as far as what should happen in practice does not happen, but you still execute and win, then people will look at it like it's a win-win situation. You're being judged on if you can execute what you practice, not just that you practice. And I've been that person that's been so calloused over, feeling like I'm so deserving, feeling so entitled that there was no growth to be had because I was already upset. I was already in my feels. I was already in my feelings. So what I want to tell you is this. Even in the midst of working hard, understand that you're not going to be judged off just working hard in practice. It's about execution when the game happens. You just build the confidence of your coaches in practice, hopefully, but at the end of the day, it's about what you do in the game. At the end of the season, they don't give out MVP awards to practice was the best in practice. Last I checked, they don't give out any kind of championships for those in practice. Practice is just that. It's practice. I don't care how many cones you put up, how many chairs you dribble through. If you can't do that with defense, with lights on, then you're not executing. Instead of being so upset about the people that have not practiced the way you did and they still execute, try to look back and say, what can I do to get where they're at? You know what, let me go talk to the coach and figure out what he sees that I'm not doing so I can work on that, so I can execute on that. So don't be walking around like so many of us do, walking around talking about how much time in the gym we put in. Oh, I eat, sleep, breathe this. Do you execute this? Nobody care about if you eat, sleep, breathe. I've been in the gym for 8 hours. I was the same guy, so I'm not making fun of you because I was the same guy. But what I'm telling you is this. It makes no difference unless you execute. I've been the same blood, sweat, and tears, basketball for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then I've had this doggone clown that starts over me. And the only time they come to the gym is when we have practice. And they're the first one out. They're the last one to show up to practice and the first one to get up out of here. And these guys are starting over me. Why? Because they execute. Focus on executing. Don't focus on how many hours you've logged practicing. Let that take care of itself. I'm not telling you that practice is not important because it is. But the most important thing is to execute.